Hello, and welcome, my dear friend. There's something I need you to know, and I won't wait until you think you're ready to hear it. Because in a deeper way, beyond thought or a circumstance, you already are. God is proud of you, not because you followed every rule to the letter, not because you kept your composure when everything inside you screamed to break, not even because you clung to your faith while the weight of life tried to crush it. No, God is proud of you because you never stopped becoming, even when the easier choice would have been to give up, to retreat, to stay still. You kept evolving. You kept going. You kept showing up to your life, even when the world gave you every excuse not to. And maybe you didn't hear that when you needed it most. Maybe when you were younger, when your hands trembled while doing the right thing, when you gave your last ounce of energy only to be left unseen. Maybe no one spoke that truth to you. Maybe no one noticed when you quietly chose love in a moment when revenge would have made more sense and certainly made more noise. But heaven did. That's the part you're invited to sit with today. Nothing good you've done has gone unseen, not by the eyes that matter. You've been walking a path of spiritual integrity, the kind that doesn't beg for credit, doesn't seek applause, doesn't need validation. You've been breaking generational patterns, cleansing old wounds from your bloodline, and holding space for peace in places where rage used to be the only language. You've made the choice to heal in moments where healing looked like loss, when there was no reward, no promise, no guarantee. And each time you chose that, you built something eternal. You see, God isn't impressed by how well you pretend to be okay. You don't win divine favor by managing your pain according to someone else's script. That's not the way this works. That's not who you are. You're not being honored for your silence. You're being honored for your truth, for rising in the middle of your storms, for staying honest even when it cost you everything, for refusing to dim your light just to make others comfortable. You're being honored for feeling deeply and still choosing love, not just the emotion, but the sacred, stubborn choice to keep returning to it. That kind of resilience is rare. There's a sacred power in someone who walks through fire and refuses to become what burned them. Someone who witnesses cruelty and still chooses not to pass it forward. That strength can't be taught in sermons or captured in textbooks. And whether you know it or not, you are carrying that exact kind of power. Your life has become a living lesson in faith, a kind of faith that doesn't come from comfort or ease. It was carved from confusion, shaped in the spaces where nothing made sense. And yet, you didn't walk away. You didn't abandon the story. You stayed in the narrative, even when the plot twisted against you. That's why what's coming your way now feels different. This isn't just your turn in a cosmic lineup. This is your moment of truth catching up to your trials. This is alignment echoing louder than adversity. You earned this season, not through performance, but through presence. In late nights, no one witnessed. In the restraint that looked like loss to others but was actually your strength in disguise. In the decisions that made no sense to the world but felt right in your spirit. Now, something shifts. The light you've been nurturing in silence begins to ripple outward. The peace you once fought for with gritted teeth starts to show up uninvited but welcome. People around you begin to sense something they can't explain. An energy, a presence, a calm they can't quite name. That's not coincidence. That's the fruit of a soul that didn't quit. And maybe you still doubt it. Maybe joy still feels like a foreign tongue, something you once spoke fluently but lost through too many seasons of survival. That's okay. It's returning, not because you finally said the right words or unlocked the right prayer, but because even when you stopped believing in yourself, God never did. The divine knew what it was doing when it placed that wild, relentless spirit inside you, when it gave you the kind of eyes that see beneath the surface, when it trusted you with a heart that feels deeper, a voice that carries further than you realize. You, my dear friend, are what healing looks like in motion. You are what integrity looks like in a world obsessed with appearances. You are the evidence of a soul that remembers its source, even when the world forgets. And none of this came easy. The most sacred transformations rarely do. You've had sleepless nights, mornings that felt like battles, and moments when your instinct was to retaliate, but your wisdom chose to release. That quiet version of you, the one who wrestled in the dark, the one who stayed when it hurt, the one who surrendered without quitting, that is the version heaven celebrates the loudest. Not the polished one, not the one who got it all right, the honest one. You don't need to earn your place at the divine table. You built that seat. With your endurance, your grace, your decision to keep walking when stopping would have been justified. And now that seat is being prepared for you, not as a favor, but as a response. You're standing at the edge of a life that finally recognizes you, and maybe that feels strange. Maybe you're not used to ease, to doors opening without resistance, to being seen without performing your pain first. But let it be said clearly, it's your turn now. Not just to breathe, but to dance. Not just to heal, but to expand. Because surviving and thriving are not the same. You've become an expert at the former. Now you're remembering how to receive the latter. This shift didn't come just because time passed. It came because alignment met identity, because you stopped playing small just to avoid standing out. Your presence is powerful. You are not just a light in someone's dark. You're proof that a soul can be soft and unbreakable. You are what it looks like to lose everything and build again, not in bitterness, but in love. You carry a grace that softens the room and a truth that doesn't need to shout. And now the universe is answering you back, not in vague signs or subtle hints, but in tangible shifts, in opportunities that reach out to you, in relationships that don't drain you, in doors once bolted shut now opening with ease, not because the world suddenly got easier, but because you became ready. You didn't skip steps to get here. You lived each line of this story with your whole being. And you don't need to explain that to anyone. You don't have to offer your scars as evidence. You don't owe your past to people who only want to validate your present. Let them wonder. Let them question. God saw it all. Every sleepless night, every time you held your tongue, every quiet decision to not go back to the version of yourself that once begged for crumbs when you were meant to command the feast. You've grown in a way no platform can measure. You've expanded in your essence, and from this point forward, the world will feel different, not because it changed, but because you did. Your discernment is sharper, your tolerance lower, your standards clearer. You don't entertain confusion anymore. You don't chase what feels misaligned. You don't barter your energy for shallow validation. You've learned what peace actually feels like. And that's why the chaos that once felt normal now feels repelling. You're not above anyone. You've just stopped shrinking beneath your own power. That's what spiritual maturity looks like. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's the daily, quiet refusal to abandon yourself. It's the sacred practice of remaining true when compromise would be easier. It's knowing, deeply knowing, that your worth is not up for debate. And now the rewards aren't coming. They've arrived. In the way your body feels safer to inhabit. In the way your thoughts feel less chaotic. In the way you no longer need to be understood to feel complete. The reward isn't just in what you receive next. It's in who you became while waiting. Let that truth settle in your bones. This isn't just a new chapter. This is a new book entirely. The old rules don't apply. The version of you who needed constant approval no longer holds the pen. The one who confused loyalty with self-abandonment isn't writing this part. You are. And the hand holding that pen was kissed by God long before you ever knew what power it carried. So write with courage. Live with fullness. Choose with certainty. Not because you've never fallen, but because every fall prepared you for your rise. Every heartbreak, every ending, every time you got up while still bleeding, it all mattered. It was all counted. It was all holy. Because God is proud of you, not for being fearless, but for choosing to move anyway. The divine has been watching, and heaven is already applauding. You've earned more than survival. You've earned honor. And that honor, it's here now. Thank you for walking this path with me. If something in this message spoke to you, share it with someone else who might need the reminder. Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And continue your journey by choosing the next message that speaks to your soul. It's waiting for you. See you there.